Okay, so in this video we will see next 5 question, that is from question number 126 to question number 130, and all these questions are available on examtopics.com website, and all these questions are related to Google Professional Data Engineer exam. Okay, so let's start. Question number 126. You work for a manufacturing company, okay, that source up to 750 different components, each from a different supplier. You have collected a label dataset that has an average 100 examples per for each unique component. So we have 750 components and there are 1000 example per component. So total there are 750 multiply 1000 data, you can say elements or rows. Your team wants to implement an app to help warehouse workers recognize incoming components based on photo of the component. Okay, so there are like different components coming, so we want to just recognize that photo, and we need to decide, okay, which component is available in that photo, whether that photo is of chair, table, as an example. So you want to implement first working version of the app as proof of concept within few working days. So whenever in the question like it is saying within a few working days, so always try to find a solution which is already available, that is the inbuilt solution. So it is something related to the by reading the question we understand that it is something related to the machine learning concept, and within the machine learning it is mentioned that we need to create a implement the solution within a few working days. So always try to find the options which is inbuilt, like inbuilt APIs, inbuilt some model or already available models. So what should you use? So we have 4 options given. So let's see, first try to eliminate the option. If you closely look option number D, in option number D they told that train your own image recognition model. So we will always eliminate this option. First thing is that it is mentioned we need to we have only few working days and we need to implement this as soon as possible, right? So we will never this is not recommended to train your own image recognition model when we have already Cloud Vision, AutoML and Cloud Vision API available. Now we have 3 options left, and out of 3 we need to choose one. Okay, so first option is use Cloud Vision AutoML with the existing dataset. So Cloud Vision is the you can say model which will work on the images dataset, and AutoML is like the we will just pass our dataset and the model will get trained on our dataset. So no need to write the model from the scratch. But in this question it is mentioned we will train the model, we will use AutoML on the existing dataset. And in the option number B we will reduce your dataset twice. In option number C, use Cloud Vision API by providing custom labels as recognition hints. So in option number 3, Cloud Vision API generally we use when we have to use the pre-trained models, right? So here we are not going to use the pre-trained models because we are not sure whether this model is already available with the Google or not for the particular 750 components, right? So we will use the Cloud Vision AutoML, and out of these 2 options, Cloud AutoML, the best option is to reduce your dataset twice, because we are doing only a proof of concept. We are not doing end to end. So in generally a proof of concept we always try on a small set of dataset. So option number B looks okay. So option number B looks okay. So if you go to the official documentation, so we have two computer vision product to help you understand images. One is AutoML and one is the Vision API. So AutoML is basically automate the training of your own custom machine learning models. simply upload images and train custom image models. So we have like images, and we have to train our models on our images. And Vision API, basically Vision API offers powerful pre-trained machine learning models through REST and API. So the models are already trained, we just need to like access that model to detect the images. So it will only detect those images on which like it is trained. But in our question we have to, we are not sure whether the existing model is trained on our components or not. So we will use the AutoML. Okay, so let me close this. Question number, so correct answer is, and we are using the proof of concept, so that's why we will use the option number B. So option number D rejected because it is training our own model. Option number C rejected because it is a Cloud Vision API, so no need to use the Cloud Vision API, we will use the AutoML. And out of A and B we will use the option number B because it is a proof of concept only. Question number 127. You are working on a nice product in the image recognition domain. Okay, your team has developed a model that is dominated by a custom C++ TensorFlow ops your team has implemented. Okay, so it is a TensorFlow model, it is a image recognition domain, and it is a like a custom C++, and these ops are used inside your main training loop. Okay, and perform bulky matrix multiplication. Okay, it currently takes up to several days to train a model. You want to decrease the time. Okay, so first thing is we want to decrease the model training time, and we want to keep the cost as low as possible. So what should you do? We have 4 options available. Okay, so first option is use cloud TPU with any additional adjustment to your code. Use cloud TPU after implementing GPU kernel support. Use cloud GPU after implementing GPU kernel support. Stay on CPU but increase the size of the cluster as you are training your model on. Okay, so if you consider both the factors, like you want to decrease the time and you want to keep you want to decrease the time, so and you want to keep the cost low. So if you think about the cost factor, then the CPU looks okay, right? Stay on the CPU. But like you think that like might be on the CPU that the training time will be increased, and in the question it is suggested that the training time should be decreased. But here we are increasing the size of the cluster as well. So if the size of the cluster will be increased, then the training time will be decreased. And also option A and option B is not applicable, because in option number A it is mentioned cloud TPUs, in option number B it is mentioned cloud TPUs. And if you go to the official documentation, let me show you. So here it has been like given when we have to use the TPU, when we have to use the CPU, when we have to use the GPU. So we have to use the CPU when models are dominated by custom TensorFlow operation written in C++. And in the question it is mentioned that models are dominated by custom C++ TensorFlow or like ops. So we will use the CPU. And other thing is, okay, and other thing is when to use the TPU, models with no custom TensorFlow operation inside the main training loop. So if there is a no custom TensorFlow operation inside the main training loop, then we will use the TPU. But in our question, these ops, that is the C++ TensorFlow op, are that is the custom C++ TensorFlow ops, are inside our main training loop. If these are inside our main training loop, then we will not use the TPU. TPU will be used only when the models with no custom TensorFlow operation inside the main training loop, but it is our inside the main training loop, so we will not use the TPUs. So option A and option B ignored. And regarding the GPU, model for which SOAR does not exist in a too wondrous to change, model with significant number of custom TensorFlow operations, model with TensorFlow ops that are not available on the cloud TPU, medium to large model that are effectively best sizes. So that doesn't look good. So only option left is, even like GPU will increase the cost, so only option left is CPU, because as per the official documentation we will use the CPU if our model is dominated by the custom C++. First thing is that, and second thing is we need to like keep the cost low, so that's why CPU, and we will decrease the time, and if we decrease the time we are increase the size of cluster. So option D looks okay. So option number D looks okay. Question number 128. Okay, let me close some tabs. Yeah, you work on a regression problem, okay, in a natural language processing domain, okay, and you have 100 million labeled examples in your data set, okay. You are randomly shuffled your data and split your data set into train and test in 90 and 10 ratio, okay. When after you trained the neural network and evaluated your model on a test set, you discover that the root mean squared error of your model is twice as high on the train set as on the test set. So read the question properly. It is mentioned that the error on the training set is high as compared to the test set. If and how should you improve the performance of the model? So if the error on the training set is high, generally it is mentioned like on the testing set is high, but here it is mentioned that on the training set it is high. If the error on the training set is high, it means we have not properly trained the model. It is underfit, not the overfit. If it is overfit, then the error on the training set is low, and on the testing set it is high, but here it is mentioned on the training set it is high, so it means model is underfit. So which how should you improve? So first option is increase the share of the test sample in the test train split. So this is not a problem here, so 90-10 is okay. Try to, they told the increase the share of the test sample, but problem is with the training set, so nothing related with the test sample. Try to collect more data and increase, so no problem with the data because we already have the 100 million. 100 million is not a less number. Try out regularization techniques to avoid overfitting. They told that we would need to avoid overfitting, but it is the problem of the underfit because the training accuracy is high, so it is a problem of the underfitting. So option C is wrong. Increase the complexity of the model. That is perfectly okay because might be like we trained a model just in a single go, so we need to increase the complexity of the model so that the model get trained like properly. So option D is perfectly okay. So option D is correct. Question number 129. You use BigQuery as your centralized analytics platform, okay. New data is loaded every day and an ETL pipeline modifies the original data and prepares it for the final users. The ETL pipeline is regularly modified and can generate errors, okay, but sometimes the errors are detected only after 2 weeks, okay. You need to provide the method to recover from these errors and your backup should be optimized for storage cost, okay. So we need backup and the backup should be optimized for the storage cost, so that wherever we store the backup it should be the some storage cost should be low. And other thing is mentioned that like the error sometimes detected after 2 weeks, that is after 14 days. How should you organize your data in the BigQuery and store your backups? Okay, so first thing is that organize your data in a single table, export and compress and store the BigQuery data into the cloud storage. So that looks okay. They told that okay, everything should be in the same table and store the data into the cloud storage. So if we store the backup into the cloud storage, so definitely the storage cost will be low, okay. Organize your data into the separate table for each month and export and compress and store the data into the cloud storage. So that looks also okay. They told that rather than storing the data in a single table, store the data for each month in a separate table and export it into the cloud storage. So again cloud storage, that is perfectly okay, but here it is like we are maintaining the data in tables for each month, okay. Organize your data in a separate tables for each month and duplicate your data on a separate data set in BigQuery. that doesn't look good because it will increase the code. If we store the backup into the BigQuery, it will increase the code. So better we can store into the Google Cloud Storage. So option C eliminated. Organize your data in a separate tables for each month, okay, and use snapshot decorator to restore the table at a point prior to the corruption. So that looks okay, even it is like more sufficient, but this is not the correct option. Why? Generally, like it is recommended, like for the backup we will use the snapshot decorator to do any recovery, but here it is mentioned errors are detected only after 2 weeks. That is, so when if the errors are detected after 14 days, then we have to recover the data from the backup which is prior to the 14 days. But this snapshot decorator generally work on the data which is available in the past 7 days. So this will not work here. Otherwise option D will be the correct answer, but this will not work here because of the errors are detected only after 2 weeks, and this is work only for the past 7 days data. So option D eliminated, option C eliminated. Now out of these two, option B looks like correct, because generally it is recommended to store the data into the separate tables for each month. So that let's suppose only for the 1 month we found the issue, so for the particular table we will like restore it rather than restoring the a single table. So option B looks okay. So option B looks okay. Question number 130. The marketing team at your organization provides regular updates of a segment of your customer dataset. The marketing team has given a CSV with 1 million records that must be updated in a BigQuery. Okay, so we have a CSV file which has 1 million records and that needs to be updated into the BigQuery. When you use the update statement into the BigQuery, you receive an quota exceeded error. So what should you do? So they told that when we perform the update, we get this error, quota exceeded error. So what should you do? Reduce the number of records updated each day to stay within the BigQuery update DML statement limit. So this is not recommended. They told rather than doing 1 million updates, perform a low number of updates every day. So how many days we will take to update the data? So this is not this is wrong. Increase the BigQuery update DML statement limit. So they told that okay, we are getting limit error, increase the limit, but this is wrong. So there is a like a predefined quota in the BigQuery, like only 1500 updates we can perform within a day. So we cannot increase the limit. Okay, this is wrong. Split the source CSV file into the smaller CSV file and update the number of update DML. They told that like split the CSV into the smaller CSV. This is, CSV is not the problem here. The problem here is quota exceed limit. Whether we run the update query on a single file or whether we run the query on a like on a multiple files which has like thousand records, right? But the number of update statement will be the same, right? So this will not solve our issue. Option 4 is import the new records from the CSV file into the BigQuery table. They told that directly import the CSV file into the BigQuery table and create a BigQuery job that merges the new records with the existing records and writes the result as a new BigQuery table. So that looks perfectly okay. They told that okay, we have one CSV file, import into the BigQuery table, that is create a table, and now run the merge job to merge the records with the existing table. So that is perfectly okay. Even in the official document like suggested this, like a merge statement, the DDL statement that can contain insert, update, delete. Okay, so we can like use this syntax, merge into table name using source name on merge condition, right? So option D is perfectly okay. So option D is okay. Yeah, that's the end of the video.